Okay, for the multiplying polynomials first half that you guys were doing on Thursday or Friday, depending on the class, you were looking at a whole bunch of rectangles kind of like this, where there were two blue sections and two orange sections. It doesn't really matter which it is, but here's the goal of the activity. We're going to eventually be doing stuff like x minus 5, x plus 7. And in fact, eventually it's going to become like 2x plus 7. And when you do that, I want you to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. So in order to get to this, we want to really understand this. So I'm going to suggest that we have a lot of ways of understanding just this phrase right here. First one is that we could find the area of each space. So like this top blue area, this is 6 units by 8 units. So it is a total of 48 units because 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, cool. This top unit over here is 30 because 6 groups of 5 is the same as 30. Down here we would get 24 because 3 groups of 8 is 24, and over here 15. 3 groups of 5 is 15. So one of the ways that I could describe this whole space is I could say it's 48 plus 30 plus 24 plus 15, although I'm going to add on here units squared because I don't just mean 48 anything, and I don't just mean 8 anything. This 8 units is way different than what this 48 units squared means. This means that this distance right here is like broken up into about 8 equal pieces. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And over here we've got 6 equal pieces. And then if I looked at one of these right here, that right there is 1 unit squared. And it's like that thing is taking up that space, and I could put 48 of them within here. I could put 24 of those squares in here, 30 in here, and 15 in here. Okay, so we're going to come up with a bunch of different ways to describe the area or the space inside of this rectangle. One of the ways is we could just say it is 48 plus 30 plus 24 plus 15 units squared. That is totally a way that we could do it. Another way that we could do it is we could say this thing is the same as if we took all of these multipliers together and we just added them up, right? Because I could write 48 as 6 groups of 8, and then 6 groups of 5, and 3 groups of 8, and 3 groups of 5. That's another way that we can see it because this thing is the same as this thing. That's one way. Another way we could do this is we could describe the outside of this. And so up on the top here, or on the bottom, I suppose, here we have like 8 blue spaces and 5 orange spaces. So we could say that this is 8 plus 5. And then we could multiply that because area is length times width. So our length here is 8 plus 5, and our width is 6 plus 3. So now we have this black thing is the same as this blue thing, is the same as this green thing, and we could even, some of you are probably already screaming this at me, describe this. We know 8 plus 5 is the same as 13. And we know that 6 plus 3 is the same as 9. We could describe this as 13 groups of 9. And that is even the same as, oh my gosh, there's so much of this. 9 times 10 would be 90, and 9 times 3 is 27. So 90 plus 27, this would be 117 units squared. So all of these different colored shaded things on the bottom, do something to describe the area of this rectangle. And your job in this activity is to get these, like somehow see if you can find versions of this for a bunch of different rectangles. A giant hint for you, at one point you're going to be asked to make a 48 unit squared rectangle, a 120 unit squared rectangle, and a 60 unit squared rectangle. And I just want to let you know that 48 is the same as 2 times 24. Well, here's all of them. These are groups of 48, so like 4 times 12 is 48. These are ways to make 120. 5 groups of 24 is 120. And these are ways to make 60. 4 groups of 15, 60. All of these might be helpful in the activity. Please let me know if you need some help.